I'm Anne-Louise from Minerva, and we're here today to talk about our top folkwear patterns. Everything we talk about today is available on Minerva right now, and will be linked down below, and pop-ups will appear along the way. So save this video, and then you can happily click away on the pop-ups to find products that you'll really love, and then it'll be easier to find us again later. Folkwear Pattern Company focuses on historical and folk garments from around the world. With an original, authentic feel, they lean towards the detail and embellishments that flavours history and means we can create garments that really know how to make an entrance. Folkwear like to respect the culture and time period of the original garments. Depending on the fabric you use and your own style, the patterns can be perfect for the historical and theatrical costuming, or can add a really unique contribution to your everyday wardrobe. Folkwear 152 is their gorgeous Scottish kilt pattern. Their kilt is perfect for if you've ever dreamed of running freely across the Scottish Highlands. The packet includes the pattern for a men's and women's kilt and a Prince Charlie jacket. To complete the look, you can also knit the lacy vest and argyle socks. There are many possible origins of the word kilt. Some of the easiest for me to pronounce are the Old Norse word kilten, meaning to gather, and the Old Gaelic word plaid, or plaid, meaning blanket. I'm going to call it a plaid. When something stretches as far back in time as the plaid does, the origins tend to get lost. However, the plaid most likely evolved from a cloak or a type of raincoat. It was originally made on a hand loom using hand-spun. After 1746 and the Jacobites' rebellion against the English, there was a move to suppress all Gaelic culture, and the wearing of the plaid was banned for a time. Later on, and around the Victorian era, the plaid was integrated into ceremonial wear for Scottish army regiments. Around this time, you also start to see a rise in clan tartans. Before this, there would have been different patterns related in the different districts in Scotland, but nothing really to specific clans. In modern times, both the tartan pattern and kilts do an excellent job of bridging the gap between the rebellious punk look and the sophisticated chic. It has been used by some of the top designers like Vivienne Westwood, Alexander McQueen and Coco Chanel. It is a distinctive statement piece for any mood. This is an excellent example of why ordering a sample is an excellent idea. On the surface, this is the perfect fabric, a woven polyester wool blend with a bold pattern. However, now I have it in my hands, I can tell it's a little on the heavy side for this project. With the amount of fabric you need for this pattern, about 2 to 4 meters, we really need to keep an eye on the weight. So a kilt in this fabric is definitely going to keep you warm, but is it going to be an arm workout to get it on? This fabric is excellent, and I recommend it for your next jacket or coat patterns. However, this lovely plaid check suiting fabric is perfect for this pattern. Made from a blend of polyester and viscose fibres, it has a beautiful soft feel and it's machine washable. It's a great light to medium fabric with lots of movement, perfect for swinging round at the dance. Folkwear 205 is the Gibson Girl blouse. This is a loose fitted blouse featuring a high collar, back buttoning yoke that gathers in the front and 3/4 length sleeves that gather into the cuff. With folkwear patterns, they give you so many options to add detailing. So for the Gibson Girl blouse, they give you the option to add some insertion lace. There are some very practical reasons why insertion lace should really be brought back into modern day sewing techniques. It's a technique that's been around for centuries, whether they've been adding lace or embroidered panels or even insertion stitches. The name of the blouse, the Gibson Girl, was a stylized beauty icon popularized in the 1890s by the American illustrator Charles Dana Gibson. The Gibson Girl was seen as beautiful, witty and aloof, but commanding. She was fashionable, modern, progressive and political. They were pictured doing new activities commonly thought to be unacceptable for young ladies to do alone, like hike, golf and swim. They pursued careers and honed their talents, making them independent. Gibson's own wife, Irene, was likely the inspiration for the original Gibson Girl. Known for her good looks and her fortune, as well as her passion for politics and philanthropic work to help women and children. This all-round blouse can really be paired with anything: jeans, shorts, gathered skirt and the pattern coming up next. This blouse can be made in soft, lightweight fabrics, such as this delicate cotton lawn, which reminds me so much of the British textile maker William Morris, who produced some gorgeous patterns during the 1870s, right on schedule for this blouse. This highly patterned fabric is light and breezy and full of colours to pick out and match to the insertion lace. William Morris is quoted as saying, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or you do not believe to be beautiful," and I strongly believe you will find this blouse to be both. Folkwear 209 is their walking skirt pattern. This flattering, full gored skirt pairs as well with the Gibson Girl blouse as gin pairs with tonic. It's available in two lengths, the full floor length and a slightly shorter street length. The tiny gathers at the back of the waistband help achieve that desirable S-curve shape seen so often in the Edwardian era. This pattern eases you into historical garments, which is a step-by-step guide of how to fit a placket, which is really going to come in useful. We chose this crisp, mind the maker linen. Linen is well documented in Edwardian clothing. The history of linen goes back thousands of years. In some eras, linen was so prized it was used as currency. Linen was often such a high price because the flax threads, which linen is woven out of, have very little elasticity and are difficult to weave without breaking them. During the era of the walking skirt, much of the world's linen was being produced in Belfast, Ireland. There is something we find appealing about using a fabric that has its roots so firmly planted in history. Folkwear 211 is their midi top. This style of top has been fashionable for the past 100 years. It played a huge part in the naval uniform, most noticeably during World War I, and gained popularity in women's wardrobes during the 1920s. View B is our favourite. During the 1920s, this design would have been worn for school, the office, or for playing sports. It's a really good all-round garment. It would work really well with jeans, a pencil skirt, or maybe even a 1920s style pleated skirt. This top is detailed with square midi collar, short satin sleeves, cuffs, and a side buttoned hip band. We chose this medium weight cotton poplin. It's perfect for a crisp finish on those collar corners. We love the idea of sticking with the naval theme for the print as well. Folkwear 233 is their Glamour Girl dress. The Glamour Girl is a Hollywood sensation. This pattern is a great example of 1940s styling. It's specifically designed to emphasize feminine curves. It features a close-fitting bodice with a narrow V-neck gathered into a snug, curved midriff. All the little details show off the era well. During the 1940s, fabric was rationed, meaning you needed to do a lot with a little. This dress comes in 3 different lengths: a long, elegant evening dress, that's ankle length, a midi length, perfect for the afternoon walks along the seaside, then a modern knee length. The 1940s is a really interesting transition period from the unstructured Art Deco style of the 30s to something a little more fitted. There are so many glamorous stars from the 40s that can inspire you. My personal favourite is Lauren Bacall. She starred in her first film, To Have and Have Not, in 1944. It's a great movie with lots of drool-worthy garments. Lauren Bacall was known for her alluring, sultry looks, as well as her distinctive husky voice. She's everything I want to be when I grow up. The costume designer for that movie was a man called Milo Anderson. He started working at Warner Brothers in 1943 and worked with many of the well-known stars of the day, such as Humphrey Bogart and Errol Flynn. Mr. Anderson said about the golden age of Hollywood, "We ran ourselves ragged, trying to keep up with the demands of the job, but we had the best materials, the best craftsmen, and the most glorious women to wear them. It was an unforgettable era." Talking of the best materials, we think this viscose is going to work really well with all those gathers and details to make those little things really pop. You can go for a contrast belt. If so, we'd like to suggest this really pretty ditzy floral print by Lady McElroy. There is so many beautiful colours just to pick out and ready to use in a lovely floral print. I just want to take a quick break here at the halfway mark to talk about our wonderful community here at Minerva. We really want to encourage everyone to take up something crafty. At the top right of the post, you will be able to follow Minerva and keep up to date with offers, new releases, general fabric prettiness, and of course tutorials, sew-alongs and our top pattern picks. Let us know what you would like to see next. Comment below and we would love to hear what you think. Folkwear 240 is the Rosie the Riveter ensemble, and you've got to love an ensemble. This is such an iconic, identifiable look. Folkwear Rosie the Riveter includes so many wonderful extras, like a shirt based on a man's sport shirt. It has some pleated slacks with side pockets and back zipper, which can be altered to include a sweetheart bodice and a crisscross back. It also includes an extra pattern for a charming sweater and one of my personal favourites, a pattern for a snood. A snood was an essential when working, 1 to keep hair out of machinery and 2 to keep all those lovely pin curls in place to let loose later. But who is Rosie? She was the star of a campaign aimed at recruiting women workers during World War II. Women were needed in huge numbers as widespread enlistment in the US led to gaps in the workforce. During World War II, aviation saw the biggest increase in women workers. They made up 65% of the entire force. Although it was likely many women were dismissed, returned to homes or to work that was more commonly seen as typical work for women, such as clerical or service after the war, this time still had a long-range significance, and Rosie is still seen as an icon for the working woman. This pattern allows a lot of ease to give a wider range of movement while working, so keep in mind you may need to make a toile. We chose this cotton wale cord. If you're choosing a cord, keep in mind it has a nap, so you may need to order extra to make sure everything runs in the same direction. Wale is a very old word, deriving from the Anglo-Saxon word for the raised edges in a ploughed field, which is suitably agricultural given its humble origins, sometimes called the poor man's velvet. What we recognise as corduroy today was developed in the late 18th century in Manchester, England, and was used as factory wear during the Industrial Revolution. It would remain a working man's fabric for the next 100 years, and gained popularity in the 70s for some great looking flared trousers and suits. The number of wales to the inch can greatly vary, from 16 in needle cord to 8 in wide wale cord. For the shirt, we chose this wonderfully matching viscose challis, wine, peach and pink floral fabric to add a little feminine flair to the structured work style trousers. Folkwear 503 is their Poire coat. This fully lined cocoon coat features batwing sleeves and a neckband, and is based on the designs of Paul Poire from 1913 to 1919. The packer also includes details on how to make a little drawstring bag called a reticule. Paul Poire was a French couturier and one of the most fashionable designers pre-World War I. He was noted for his neoclassical designs. He advocated the replacement of the corset with a brassiere and introduced the hobble skirt, which is a vertical tight-bottom skirt that made it hard for the wearer to walk. Poire served in the House of Worth in Paris, and Worth is one of the most iconic designers for the late 1800s, creating gorgeous custom pieces for English ladies and American socialites. Poire was employed by Worth to create a casual day wear with a focus on wearable comfort. He produced high-waisted empire-line dresses, tubular shapes, kimono jackets and long skirts inspired by Eastern art and the Russian ballet, making for a flamboyant and theatrical look that Worth customers either loved or hated. Some customers buying the entire lines of clothes and some refusing to be fitted by him again. He is quoted as saying, "I do not want all women to look and dress exactly alike. I want them to be as different in their dress as they are in their personalities," which is something so achievable to all us homemakers. Velvet is popular for evening wear for a special occasion, but I think this is a great item in velvet for either out and about on the town or great for lounging around the house as the fanciest dressing gown you will ever own. We have this beautiful sturdy cotton velvet. Be aware, this is another fabric with a nub, meaning you may need to purchase more to make sure everything runs in the right direction. Velvet always adds something a little special to a garment. This cotton velvet is one of the easiest velvets to sew with. It's a shorter pile, so resists moving around as much as your polyester or viscose velvets. Although Poire was a little too early for the Art Deco arts movement, we love this geometric green 100% cotton. As the pattern suggests, the lining needs to be of a similar drape and weight of the outer coat fabric. These two cotton fabrics work really well together, and you will get a really nice flash of the pattern and colour when the coat opens. Folkwear 142 is their old Mexico dress. Mexico is so rich in bright clothing and traditions, showing vibrant colours, patterns, shapes and textures. The folk dress of South America is influenced by the traditions of the different local indigenous people. The state of Oaxaca in southern Mexico has an amazing tradition of finely crafted textiles, especially handmade embroidery and woven fabrics. Fabrics were commonly woven out of natural resources such as cotton, which also aided in the dyeing process. Many of the bright colours attributed to the traditional dress can be obtained from natural dyes. This again is an area with room for more research. Why not have a look at the traditional embroidery patterns? Why not have a go at starting your own embroidery tradition? This pattern is made up of just 4 pieces and can be made in a dress or a blouse length. Why not try a contrast yoke or a lace edging? Such a simple base pattern is a blank canvas ready to make your own. The blouse length is very similar to what is called a huipil. The huipil's decoration and style varies greatly from one indigenous group to another. Some being quite simple, others being made in a rich velvet, highly decorated with embroidery. Some huipils feature embroidered images of saints or deities. We chose this rather lovely Rose and Hubble purple cotton that's going to hold the structure well and is really going to help any decoration you add with a little pop. Not to mention, cotton is just a great summer fabric. Folkwear 119 is a Cula trouser, a beautiful lazy summer afternoon pattern with 3 different style options, all in unisex sizes small to 2XL. All the trousers are a relative of the shalvar. Shalvars in Turkish culture date back to the Ottoman era. The trouser has varying degrees of bagginess. This is a photo of the first ruler of Armenia wearing the shalvar in the 1860s. They were actually introduced into Western fashion with the help of someone that we spoke about earlier, That's right, Poire, who was inspired by the Cula trouser. View A is the Turkish pants. They are a full and flowing trouser, gathered at the waist with a drawstring and at the ankles with elastic. They are often called the harem pant in modern times. View B is the African Zerulas. They are a simple drawstring waisted trouser with a leg that tapers to the ankle and an inseam gusset that allows for freedom of movement. Initially restricted to just men, these trousers were popular in hot countries. The wide and fresh design paired with a moisture-absorbing cotton helped keep the wearer cool. View C is gathered in the front above the thigh into a wide hip panel, which rises into a drawstring waist. Shaped cuffs above the ankle are faced with traditionally embellished with embroidery. Again, with the folkwear, they've been a doll and added 4 beautiful embroidery designs for that extra little touch. We chose this bright and sunny, lightweight cotton. These trousers were so popular in hot countries because of the breathable, cool nature partly provided by the material they were made out of. This bright, colourful design will pair really well with some black shoes and top, making the trousers the main event. I have a weakness for bird print fabric and these little ones are just so sweet. Folkwear 215 is their Empire dress. Another inspiration for our friend Mr. Poire, the wonderful Empire dress. Its high-waisted silhouette was popularised following the French Revolution in the 1700s. It reflected the desire to return to a simpler Grecian style of dress. This pattern features 3 different A-line skirt lengths: knee, floor and floor with train. Drawstrings fit the bodice firmly to the bust and fasten at the back. We chose what you might think of unconventional colours for our Empire dress. However, white of course was a colour used in their dresses, but they also used colours like blue, pink, green, red lilac, buff, grey, crimson, orange, lemon and puce. By looking at the fashion plates of the day, you can see the bright range of colours used. I actually made this dress to wear to Chatsworth House, which was used as the location of Pemberley in the Pride and Prejudice movie. And what else am I meant to wear to Mr. Darcy's house? Normal clothes. It's one of the easiest dresses to put together and looks so effortlessly authentic. It's a really good place to start if you want to move into historical dressmaking. Walking around a historical house like Chatsworth, you get such a good feeling wearing an authentic dress. It's like a little bit of history coming back to life. And you don't feel as awkward as you might think you would. And I'm not gonna lie, you feel a little bit like you're in the place. Just a little bit. We chose these 2 gorgeous fabrics, a beautiful mint green Swiss dot and a lightweight viscose. Swiss dot fabric was made in Switzerland. The design is said to have originated around 1750. Originally, the dots were created using a technique called swivel weaving. The theory is this is the original polka dot. Although viscose is a relatively new fabric, its lightweight, semi-sheer nature adds well to the Empire dress, which was sometimes cheekily see-through. Of course, petticoats were worn underneath to prevent any actual see-throughness. It's also documented that some women added sprinkles of water to their light cotton frocks to add an extra clinginess. Thanks for joining us and I'll look through some of our favourite folkwear patterns. Which are your favourite? Here at Minerva, we love to hear your views. Which one of these can you not wait to start making? Have any of the fabrics sparked inspiration for your next project? Any questions, comment below and we'd be happy to answer them. And don't forget, Minerva Craft Club members get a 10% discount for 12 months when they sign up. And creating a free account, you'll get a welcome present of a discount coupon. So join us with our lovely community of makers, follow, comment and like, and we'll see you next time.